comes all the way from California, of course, host of the Lady to Lady podcast, also writes for The Guardian and Vice. Will you please welcome Tess Barker?
What is up, you guys? Your second lady is what I call my left tit. I'm kidding, she's not a lady. How's it going? You guys are so much fun. This is rad. This is kind of weird for like a comedian, but I'm a happy person. I think it's because I was popular in high school. I know, which is embarrassing. No one likes you when you were popular in high school, right? But it's not my fault. I mean, well, it is my fault, but here's how I did it. I smoked weed and I sucked dick. It wasn't rocket science, you know? The option was available to everyone. But I do believe that phrase. I know it's corny, but I do believe that phrase, you know? Today is a gift. Yeah, that's why you have to pretend you like it. This is a very embarrassing time right now to be a white lady, right? Bummer. Yeah. This is the most embarrassed I've ever been to be a white woman. And like, I've been to a yoga class that was also a wine tasting. Like, shit's getting bad. It was lovely. They served champagne right before Savasana. Like, do it if you ever can. You know, they should call it Shavasana. Okay. I'm in a mixed gender relationship. Oof. Yeah, married to a man on purpose. Straight women are like for sure proof that sexuality is not a choice, right? We would never. This is the kind of shit you have to deal with when you're a straight woman married to a straight man. I was watching TV with my husband the other night, and he looked up at the screen and goes, Sandra Bullock looks good. Which, you know, I would have been fine with, but he was looking at Julia Roberts. Like, what the fuck? Read one People magazine, you know? My husband watches a lot of sports, but it's so funny to me, like, the sports are fine. It's the talk shows before the sports that really blow my mind. I don't know if any of you have watched ESPN or any of that stuff. It's all these guys, some of them are former athletes, and some of them, I guess, are like PhDs in football or something. I don't know. They all wear ties. But they seem to know a lot about sports, but they're actually not saying anything. Like, all I know about sports is who has the cutest butt and the coolest tattoo, and I firmly believe I could be on ESPN. Watch. This is every sports show ever. It's big day today. Everybody at home, like, really, of course, they all really want the fans to win. Fans are really here. They showed up. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to, do you have a good offense? Can the defense bring it? If you're not scoring, if you can't stop the score, you're not going to be the one to come out on top. Of course, it's anything that could happen. If there's an injury or if something gets sidelined, that could change everything. So it's really anybody's game at this point. Thank you. There's no crying in baseball, and there's also no women in baseball. I think it's cool that dogs seem to be having a moment as far as like being legal. If you fly or like anywhere you go, there's tons of dogs everywhere. It's great. You'll be at the airport at a Sbarro. There might be a Shih Tzu next to you with its luggage. It's the best, right? It's so good. I think service dogs, and that's how I feel, right? They're great. I feel like service dogs have become, it's kind of like how marijuana is in some states. Like, you just kind of have to find a doctor who's like, yeah, you need that for your anxiety. You know, like, you just have to find that one cool doctor. But I have some friends who just can't get on board with the whole, like, service dog explosion. Like, I'll be out in public with them, and they're all like, shitty about it. You know, they like lean into me like, do you think that's really a service dog? I don't think that's it. Look at it, it's a Pomeranian. Do you think what's it doing? What's it do? Does it know sign language? Do you think it's really a service? They bought that vest on eBay. You know, it's like, that's what you're mad about? Dude, we just got invaded by Russia. Like, who cares that there's a pug in Target? Like, who gives a shit, you know? And like, also, I feel like you're missing the bigger point, which is like, why can't you just be happy that there's a dog somewhere he doesn't belong? Like, oh my God, what is better than a dog somewhere he doesn't belong? I mean, I love dogs everywhere, you know, the dog park, in a home, into it, you know, but like, oh my, a surprise dog? You just got a surprise dog, right? I mean, oh my God, maybe I would actually go to jury duty if there was a chance there might be a confused Labrador. Are you serious? The less they belong, the better it is. I went to go see a musical adaptation of Peter Pan at this super fancy theater in LA. Really fancy. They used to have the Oscars there, the whole 9 yards, velvet curtain and everything, right? Mostly human cast. The Nana was a real dog. They cast a real dog as Nana. Exactly. You almost kind of felt bad for the human cast members because they had to learn like choreography and stuff. And, you know, we liked them. We weren't rude. But every time that literal bitch came on stage, all she did, she had 2 parts. She just had to come on stage, walk across, and sit her little dog butt down center stage. Both times, standing ovations. Standing ovations, because we were like, that dog does not belong here. This is a fancy place. Even more than dogs, too, I feel like if you have something besides a dog, then I really think you should be allowed to have it. You know, because like, if someone goes out into Starbucks with like a cockatoo on their shoulder, I don't want to know what plan B was. You know, I think I'm done wrapping presents. I think I'm out. I'll still give them, but I'm not gonna wrap them anymore. I don't have like a whole wrapping. I don't have wrapping skills by any sense of the word. I'm not good at it, you know? And also, like, I just don't have, like, wrapping paper at my house, so it's always a last-minute purchase for me. I always get presents, like, on the way to the party I'm going to. So if you're like me, if you're a wrap procrastinator, we only have one option, and that's the bag, right? We gotta go gift bag, which seems genius, right? You just dump it in with some tissue paper. So much easier wrapping hack, right? Wrong. Because every time you give someone a present in a gift bag, it doesn't matter what you give them. The last moment of that transaction is always disappointment. Always. Because sometimes they do it subtly and sometimes they're very obvious about it, but they go rifling through there to check and see if they might have missed a little something, you know, and you, the generous gift giver, have to be the asshole to break the news. Like, that's all there is. It's like, why am I apologizing? I just got you a nice candle. You know, I don't think, so I'm just gonna raw dog, I think, gifts from now on. I think it's crazy in porn how how important cum is, right? Like, cum, it's all over porn. It's like, it punctuates everything. It's very theatrical. It's like the Bellagio fountain in Vegas, you know? Like, you know something's happening when it's sprayed. Like, it's very jazz hands. It's like all, you know, that's the big moment. Porn and cum just go together, like, so well. But, like, in all of porn, really, as much cum as there is everywhere, there's, like, never period blood. Never. Which clearly is about not liking women. It's not about not liking blood, because let's face it, in every genre besides porn, blood is for sure the more cinematic bodily fluid. There's not even a competition. If cum is that much much more cinematic. How come that's not what's in The Shining? When the elevator doors open and it's just a big mountain, you know, there'd be one slow-moving drop, just barely perceptible. Poor kid on his tricycle, like, light come, light come, light come. Have any of you guys ever been to down to Graceland in the South? Anyone else? Yeah, just like one person. Okay, it's great, right? A couple people. I went there for the first time recently, and if you haven't been, even if you're not a huge Elvis fan, you gotta go. You gotta go, because it's like the spookiest place ever. Like you can really feel dead Elvis's spirit, which is cool. But also, if you go, you're just gonna. It's like you and all these couples who like should have gotten divorced 20 years ago. Like that's who goes to Graceland. I was there with my sister, and we were in the room where where they have all of his like onesies, his jumpsuit onesies. Which, first of all, what a man. You know, I mean, like he invented male camel toe, and we don't give him enough credit for that. You know. So we're in the room with all of his onesies. I got John Stamos doing the audio tour in my headset. He really, I guess, is a big Elvis fan. And over the soft, like, dulcet tones of John Stamos' voice, I just hear this woman behind me start going, "Hey, Bob, let me get a picture. Bob, let me get a picture. Bob, let me get a picture." And she just kept going like that. Like she didn't change it up at all. And it was so annoying. And all of us are just kind of subtly like still trying to enjoy the tour, but we're all a little bit kind of making eyes like, am I right? You know what? The only person who's not disturbed at all, guess there's one, Bob. Bob was cool. Bob was fine. Bob was like having the most relaxed day of his life, reading all the plaques. Meanwhile, she just kept going. And it was almost like one of those things where the longer it went on for so long with so much repetition that it was almost like a Buddhist chant. Like there were levels. You started to hear like a storyline. You felt the wavelengths, you know, like underneath the same words, you started to see the arc of like what was essentially like an Arthur Miller play. Like it was like an American tragedy unfolding underneath. She just kept fucking going. It was like, "Hey, Bob, let me get a picture. 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 Bob. Get a picture. And finally, this reached such a fever pitch that like fuck Elvis. No one cared about Elvis. You know what I mean? Like we all had taken off our headsets and it was like, oh my, if something doesn't happen soon, like one of us is gonna have to intervene. Like it was that bad. Finally, Bob turns around and I kid you not, the first words out of Bob's mouth are, "What do you want?" What did she want? That was literally the only question we had the answer to. Like, what did she want? Bob, originally, she she wanted Elvis, okay, Bob? That's what she wanted. She wanted a bad boy with a heart of gold, and she had that for like 2 weeks in high school, but he felt her boobs and then left her for like a richer girl with a nicer car, Bob. That's what happened. And the trauma from that was so bad that she went off and married the first guy who gave her a modicum of attention, even though he was a total schlub. And that was you, Bob. That was you, dude. She married you. And she was so busy with the wedding and the dress and all that she kind of was able to distract herself from the fact that she was essentially marrying a sack of frozen peas. That didn't occur to her until y'all were driving away in the just married car, you know? But no problemo. She was like, you know how I'll fix this? I'll give this man children. I'll make people in my body for this person. And so she did. For you, Bob. She made your offspring in her body and she pushed them out and she gave them everything. She gave you a family. She filled her brain with soccer banners and birthday cakes, and she was able to just keep zoning you out and just tolerate with your bullshit. Then the kids left and she was alone again with you, Bob. Just alone with you. And it was just, can you imagine, Bob? Can you imagine spending a lifetime with someone and still having awkward silences? That's her reality, Bob. She tries to ask you about football and you just tell her to shut up, you're watching the game. She just wants to have interests in your interests. You know, every night it's just the sound of your fork scraping your TV dinner. Every night it's Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, and you're only good at Wheel of Fortune, Bob. You suck, Bob. You suck. You know? But she just stuck it out, and now here she is. You guys have put together a little bit of money. She'll never be young again. You're all she's ever had. She's come here on a pilgrimage to Graceland. And all she wants for all that suffering and all those years of service and quiet solitude, all she wants is one piece of photographic evidence to prove that her life has not been for naught. So, Bob, let her take the fucking picture. You know what I'm saying? You guys have been so much fun. Thank you so much. I'm Tess. You guys are cool.
Let's hear it for Tess, everybody.